There's so many people at the mall. Go to the mall and just start talking to people. It's a great place to meet all different types of people, connect with people, and just start up those conversations. I may ask them if they think like blue or black looks better on me. Keep talking about, well, what do you normally wear? Let's go look at these over here. Can you help me pick something out? And just keep that conversation flowing, because eventually that leads into, my gosh, I would love to go shopping with you again one day. Can I get your number? Most of the time it is being genuine. Like, I love meeting new friends. So, um, getting a new shopping buddy is always fun.
Welcome to MLM Nation, a podcast of leaders, by leaders, for leaders, hosted by Simon Chan. He's built a team of over 200,000 and is now a full-time MLM coach and trainer. So if you're ready to level up your business, join us now. Let's do this.
MLM Nation, it's Simon Chan. I'm fired up to bring our special guest today. We have Michele Zambrana. Hey, Michele, are you ready to make it happen?
I am. Hey, everyone.
Michele Zambrana worked in the recreation and fitness industries for many years before she got started in network marketing. She was attracted to MLM because at the time, she was a single mom and wanted to provide a better lifestyle for her kids. Michele attributes her success to being just a quote-unquote normal person and for the genuine connections she made with her team. So, Michele, I've given everyone a brief intro, but please take more about your background. What did you used to do, and who introduced you to network marketing, how you got started?
Sure. Like Simon said, I was in the recreation business. I used to run like children's camps and all the sports. I then transitioned into the fitness industry, and I ran a gym for many years. And when I worked in that gym is kind of where I got introduced to network marketing. As you know, a lot of health companies are interested in people in that type of industry. I got involved in a company way back when, and it was great because at that time I had 3 young children. I was a single mom. And, with having 3 young children, the extras, the sports, the, parties, the clothes that they want, all the things. And so that attracted me as a way to make a little extra income to get my children the wants that they needed, not just the needs, but the wants. So that's kind of how I got into it. Simple as that.
Who was the person that introduced you, and how did they approach you?
So it happened to be at the time another manager in the gym, their friend that was in network marketing. And they were just telling us, you could really, your clients could really use a lot of these products. So we decided, okay, well, let's try the products first. We tried them. We thought they were great. And so we started introducing those products to our clients. And that's kind of just how it all got started.
So when you saw it, you immediately were interested. Were you skeptical, or you immediately just jumped on board?
At that time with that company, I jumped on board because they were general products that anybody really could use, meal replacements, things like that. So it wasn't like, in my opinion, like it wasn't like a get rich quick scheme. It was more like something everybody could use, a product everybody can use. So I thought, okay, well, I can use this. And if it doesn't work out, at least I got benefit out of using that product.
So how did you promote the products to the people at the gym?
So back then, Facebook was like just starting. So you didn't really use much social media to promote anything. So what I did was we just told our clients. It was all through word of mouth. We did like tasting parties and tables and things like that. But Facebook wasn't really a big deal. Really, no social media was a big deal. And so it was a lot of just word of mouth. And that's kind of how it all began.
So what was, so you had success right away then, pretty quickly, same time?
Yes, pretty quickly.
Why do you think you had success while a lot of people struggle?
I think it's the social connections. Working in a gym, you're talking to so many people. Even before that, when I was in college, the college years, like I was a waitress. So I really have no problem talking to people, starting conversations, just being personal with them. And I think that genuinely is a key to a lot of like network marketing MLMs, because if you don't have those genuine connections with people, they're never going to trust you. And, you're just some other person on the street. So I think those connections really, really help.
So what do you mean by genuine connection? Like what makes it genuine?
So I think just getting to know the person on a personal level. I always get to know everyone. I want to know who they are, where they're from, what they do, what they're like, what they're looking for, their needs, their wants, their family. I get to know everybody on a personal level.
So it seems like you're very good at talking to people. For the people who are maybe more shy, or they don't have the network that you did, what advice could you give them to be good at developing these genuine connections?
So I think it's like start slow. Start slow. Like pick 5 people in your phone and call them. Maybe it's people you haven't talked to since high school. Maybe it's mom friends you haven't seen in a while, but people that you know in real life, call them and talk to them. And then it makes it a little bit easier on the social media part. In social media, there are groups. I'm a dog mom. So there are groups that I've joined with other dog moms, and we talk about our dogs, but then we become friends, and then we become friends on social media, and then they get to see what my work is, but we've already made that backstory connection. So I think things like that really, really could help somebody that doesn't have a huge network or maybe isn't as outgoing. Just putting yourself out there with things you have in common with people.
And I think like when you say call 5 people, but without the intention to prospect them, is that correct?
Exactly.
Like if you're out
Exactly.
there,
Yeah.
I'm calling these 5 people because I want to prospect them, then it's not that wouldn't be a genuine.
Right. I don't go out in the world to make friends to sell my products. I go out in the world to make friends to, genuinely connect with people. And if they decide that they are interested in my products, at some point that it's going to come up in conversation. What do you do for a living? And so at that point it will come up. But I like to make genuine connections with people. I would prefer that in this world. It's really hard to trust people. I feel like a lot of people feel like that. And so I would rather make that connection first and make those friends first.
And it has to be a long-term game, right? Like,
It is. Ultimately, when you're building, especially if you don't have anything and you're coming from nothing, you have to be in it for the long run. You have to remember that with any network marketing, MLM, it's a side gig. It's not your main gig. So if you're building slowly on the side while you have your main job or career, then you can have a little bit more patience with that.
yeah, the reason I'm asking you these questions, so I just want to encourage people like like you said, you're very good at connections, genuine connections, and you're a waitress, so you're used to that, right? So someone who's not used to it, you can't get to Michelle where she is right away because she's been doing this for her whole life. Um, did anyone teach you that, or you were just like
I
the
think I
20% of
just have
people that
always been like this.
like that?
I've
Yeah.
always been kind of like the outgoing one, just friends with everyone, talking to anyone and everyone. I think it is just what my personality is. I have no problem just meeting strangers, like even when my kids were little and at sporting events, I wouldn't know anyone. So I would just go and sit next to some random mom and just strike up conversations. Like I think that's just me. I just like to talk to people. But for those that don't have that natural like talking instinct, it's just as simple as practicing on your friends that you have already or practicing on your cousins or your family.
Yeah, yeah. So you had success, and then what was the turning point that when things really started taking off for you?
So I think a lot of it started taking off more during, believe it or not, during COVID when more people were shopping online. That is when a lot of it took off. And with all companies, there's ups, there's downs, there's ups, there's downs. So I think that I learned a lot in the companies that I was with. I'm in a different company now, but I learned a lot, and I took all of that in, of those old trainings from all those old leaders, like, and I took that all in to make it my own kind of style. But I think that COVID definitely helped me learn a lot more because I kind of was stuck home to learn. Like most people, we were stuck home. So I made the best of that.
But was there like a specific moment, like an aha moment, like a light bulb moment, like, oh, that's it. And then things really,
So I think one time, like a big aha moment for me is one time somebody kind of said to me, like, why are you putting yourself out there like that? That's so embarrassing. And I was like, why is it embarrassing? Like, if this is what I like doing and I like talking to people and I like connecting people, why would it be embarrassing for me? And I really took that to heart, and I thought, like if somebody wants to be a dog walker or a dentist or a hairdresser, like I'm not criticizing them. Like, why would somebody criticize me for wanting to be a networker? And so, I really took that to heart, but I really kind of was like, I don't care what anybody thinks, like I don't care. This is what makes me happy. I like helping people. I like networking. And so I don't care what anybody thinks. And I think that is kind of where the light bulb changed or it went on, because I just thought, you know what? I'm just going to do my thing, and I'm not going to let anybody put me down for it. And so I think that was kind of like my turning point.
Definitely, definitely. So in your journey, how many years have you been in network marketing?
So it's been about 10 years, but there was a little time off in between each company. I've been with 3 companies, and there was a little bit of time off in between each company.
What would you say was your worst moment in the 10 years, to the point that most people will quit, but you didn't quit, and that's why you are where you are today?
So I think when people don't get rich quick, they quit. People think it's almost like a stock that they buy, and they think, oh, well, if this isn't going to blow up, then I'm going to quit. So I think like one of the worst moments for me was having a company change comp plan, change products. And it was just like, what? Like, this isn't what I signed up for. And so you kind of have to like start back at day one somewhere else. But I think that it's also a learning process. You have to learn how to navigate all that stuff and how to overcome it and take what you learn from each little individual company or product or leader or all of that, and just kind of keep moving on.
What gets you excited about this profession? You've been in it 10 years.
So it really gets me excited helping the little people. So I had one person last around the holidays last year, and she called me up crying, telling me she couldn't believe it that she has 5 kids. This was the first Christmas she could ever buy each of them more than one present.
Wow.
And to me, that was it. That's why I do what I do. If I can help that one struggling mom, or that one, that family that just needs that extra income, to me, if I could teach them a little bit of tips and tricks on what they could be doing, that's it. Like helping people overcome situations was just huge for me.
That's really, I think that's what sometimes we lose sight of that. Like, even $100 may not seem a lot. You're not getting, but it could mean a lot to a family.
Yeah, exactly. Even just getting one bill paid, or their phone bill or their
Yeah.
water bill, like anything. And so, to be able to help someone get those little things, that means everything to me.
I was checking you out on Facebook, stalking you for a bit, and you have a really, good profile. So, what are some tips for people who are just getting started with social media? What advice could you give them?
I think just stay consistent, stay persistent with people that are interested, but staying consistent, sharing your story. It's nice when you share other people's stories and you're trying and you're doing everything. But when you share your own story and your own success journey and the failures and the triumphs, like people relate to that a lot more. And I think that's just what I do. I just share my journey. And if it's for you, great. I'd love for you to be on this journey with me. And if it's not, that's okay too. And I think just having that honest relationship with my audience and my following, that's what makes me proud.
So, if someone hasn't had much success yet, how could they share their story? Like, give an example. So, I'll just say I'm new. I started, or maybe, hey, I've been in this business for 8 months. I haven't earned any money yet. I see your profile. I want to be like Michele. What type of story could I share?
So I think sharing your struggles, like sharing what you're doing wrong or what you're doing that's not working for you, so many people out there can connect to it, and then trying something different. Like what works for me might not work for you, but to try different things is key. Maybe you're not putting yourself out there enough, or maybe you're not encouraging enough, but obviously, like if you change one little thing up, you might get different results. So I would just encourage everyone just to keep trying different things and seeing what works for you.
Yeah, that's really good advice. Um, how important, you mentioned this before, but I want you to elaborate a little bit about consistency. How important is that to success?
It's huge. It's huge. You have to be consistent in your posting, consistent in your sharing, consistent in your honesty, in your own journey. Like I'm in the health and wellness industry, so I share my own journey. Yes, I do dabble in some of my teammates also just for third party verification, but 95% of the time I'm sharing my own journey. And I think that's how I connect with people most is I'm sharing my struggles. I'm sharing every little bit of it, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. And I think that people relate to that a lot more because they want the honesty.
You're a busy mom. Do you have any routines? How do you stay consistent? I know it's important. So what do you do? Do you have any hacks or systems or routines to help you stay consistent?
I'm so old school. I have notebooks. So yes, I make notes in my phone, but I need a notebook. I am that old school person where you have to write everything down. And when I write it down, I remember it. And like I learned that in college too, like writing it all down, you're going to remember it more. So I do. I keep notebooks. I write everything down. I make myself lists. I show up every single day in a chat with my team. And I just make sure to keep that consistency going for myself, for my team, for my following, for my children. I have an old school paper calendar, like you name it, I have it. And that's what works for me. Some people like digital. There are some digital things that I like, but I work best when I can write it all down. So that's what I do still.
Hey, thank you so much for your time. You've been amazing. So many nuggets in a very short amount of time. As we go towards the end of the show, some quick questions to pick your brain. Okay.
Sure.
So the first one is, what is one of your favorite success quotes that motivates you?
So I actually wrote my own success quote that I love. So it's just kind of like, let me see if I have it written down somewhere and I can really share it with you because it is so good. Um, okay. So I wrote this myself. Hopefully guys are okay with it. So with the right attitude and tools, great things are achievable. Adopting a positive attitude along with consistency and persistency is the key to creating lasting success.
I love that. Awesome. What is one habit that's helped you become successful?
I think just the consistency in writing everything down, making sure that it's almost like creating a DMO, which I know a lot of people do in network marketing. I have a DMO I keep personal things on there, I keep business things on there, and I just make sure I do those couple of same things every single day. And then I switch it up also weekly and monthly.
What's the best piece of advice you ever received?
Have the hard conversations, let people have them with you and have them with people because they really help you grow.
The hard conversations. Oh, give me an example. What's a hard conversation?
So if maybe somebody is copying somebody else's posts, sometimes it's hard to call somebody out on doing something like that. But ultimately, it's going to help them grow if you explain to them how being genuinely yourself instead of copying someone else's post is going to get them further along in the game.
What's your favorite prospecting tool? Say you have a qualified prospect. What do you use?
I like texting services. I feel like they are just modern. They get the job done. Not many people check their emails all the time or their messaging on the apps, but text message, everybody's got their phone in their hand. So I love the text messaging apps.
What's your favorite app on your phone that's not a social media app?
I do like the Canva app. I love to make like all the graphics and stuff like that. I'm not very great at it, but I do love using Canva. I mean, I've made business cards on Canva. I've made my daughter's wedding announcement on Canva. I've done all kinds of stuff. It's just such a fun app.
What are 2 or 3 books that you could recommend to ML Nation?
Definitely Beach Money. That's one of my favorites. I think I've read that, oh gosh, probably like 100 times. It just resonates with me a lot. Um, and honestly, I like biographies. So I read all types of people's biographies. I would recommend any biography. You learn so much from each one. I learned so much from even like Michelle Obama's biography. Like you can take so many things and put them into your real life. Like they're just so powerful.
What's the last biography you read?
Michelle Obama's.
Cool.
That's why it's on top of my head.
Yeah. And here's the last question, the $1 million question. Ready?
Okay.
Imagine you had to start all over again and you knew no one, but you had all your current knowledge, skills, and wisdom. What's the first thing you do or the first place you go to build a network marketing business from scratch?
I'd probably go to the mall. There's so many people at the mall. Go to the mall and just start talking to people. It's a great place to meet all different types of people, connect with people, and just start up those conversations.
How would you start up a conversation with a stranger in the mall? Just say you were at the food court. What would you do?
I would just start asking them about what they're eating. Hey, what did you get? Did you like it? Do you normally eat this kind of food? Is it spicy? Like just normal conversation.
If you're in a grocery store, what would you, and you're in line with someone, what would you say to that person in front of you?
I'd probably ask them if they can recommend something that was right there. Like even I know it's usually like candy that's right there in the line, but just, hey, would you recommend, this chocolate bar or this chocolate bar? What do you like better? And just start up some silly conversation.
Good. And the last one, if you're shopping for clothes, what would you say to a person that you see?
I may ask them if they think like blue or black looks better on me.
That's awesome. Great tips there. Very applicable. And then how would you take it from there? So just say you met someone there and they say, oh, I think your black sweater looks better on you. And then what would you do? How would you get contact info?
Oh, I would just keep talking. Like I would just keep talking about, well, what do you normally wear? Let's go look at these over here. Can you help me pick something out? And just keep that conversation flowing because eventually that leads into, my gosh, I would love to go shopping with you again one day. Can I get your number?
Good. So just keeping asking the questions, being like genuine, like you're not
genuine. Yeah.
Genuine.
Yeah. And it is being genuine. Most of the time it is being genuine. Like I love meeting new friends. So, getting a new shopping buddy is always fun.
Yes. As we wrap up, any last words of advice? And then what's the best way listeners can connect with you, Michele?
I would say just get out of your own way and get out of your own head. Like you can do this. You can do network marketing. You can do MLM. It's a simple thing as just talking to people and starting. And you can connect with me on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok. I have all three.
Hey, MLM Nation, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And today, you've been hanging out with Michele Zambrana. So keep up the momentum and head over to MLMNation.com. Click on the podcast tab and the show notes will be there. Michele's got great social media content. You got a lot of ideas. You see examples of how she shares her story. Definitely go and follow her and connect with her. Hey, in order to be successful in life and business and in network marketing, you must help others. So, Michele, thanks again for sharing your valuable time with MLM Nation. We're grateful to you, and we appreciate you for having a positive impact on millions of distributors worldwide. Thank you so much again, and God bless you.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, MLM Nation, the Simon Chandler recap from a great show from Michele Zambrana. And make sure you go and subscribe and follow her as well. Head over to MLMNation.com, follow her and check what she's doing. She made great advice there about social media, about sharing your struggle, your stories. Definitely go connect with her. And make sure, hey, just take a lot of Michele's time, my time as well. She's a busy leader. And so, hey, these are not free. They take a lot of my time. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube and also subscribe to us on your favorite podcast player and leave us a review. We will really, really appreciate that. We are here to serve the community, but by sharing this by leaving that review, we'll let more people to discover it and really lift up our profession. So a couple of things here. Michele's general connector. This is, I think I was joking after telling her this was probably broke the record for the fastest, podcast ever because she gave so many nuggets of wisdom. And in the end, it is about thinking long-term relationships, right? Long-term connections. And I want to encourage you, don't compare yourself to Michele. I mean, when she was sharing that she immediately got people to use the product, health product, I'm like, I definitely was not like that because I'm shy. I'm shy to talk to people. I'm a shy, quiet Asian kid from Brooklyn, New York. I wouldn't do any of that. So don't compare where you're at, where Michele is at, right? I think a lot of times people think, well, she made 6 figures in 6 months. Well, you don't know her past. You don't know what type of personality is. The good thing is, I think a lot of people are shocked. They find out I'm shy and quiet and introverted. I don't like to talk to people. I'm not good at it, but these are all learned. And basically what I learned was a lot of things that Michele shared, being genuine, right? Just getting to know people, asking questions. And I was actually teaching this to my kids the other day. What do people what do people don't like to hear? People don't like to hear about when you talk. What do people like? They like to talk about themselves. So asking questions. Actually, I asked my second son this. What do people like to talk about? I'm a proud daddy. I'm sharing. He said, they like to talk about themselves. Great. So the more you let people talk about themselves, the more they'll like you. And that's one of the keys. It goes all the way back from how to win friends and influence people, having a smile, having good energy, and asking. But you got to be genuine and not worry about, are they going to be buying? Are they going to be this? If you think about that, then people can sense that, right? It's really going in the long term, building that network, digging your well before you're thirsty, right? It's a great book by Harvey, MacKay, digging your well, just making deposits, building connections. And then another part is sharing on social media, letting people know your struggle, your journey, right? And she shared, you don't need to be successful to share your journey, share your struggle, but always end in a positive. That's what I share. You can share the struggle, but always end in a positive and let people know where you're at because people are following you. And that's where the consistency, you got to be consistent in social media because just say you talk to a friend and you don't mention anything about the business, the chances are they will check you out on social media or you reach out, you follow them on social media. And because of the algorithm, you follow them, they'll probably see your stuff. And then they see you every day, staying consistent, building the business, learning a little bit. They'll get curious and that opens up conversation, gets people interested in the business. So awesome stuff there. And, she talk about consistency. For some of you who are not as high tech, hopefully that inspired you. She was old school and just used notebooks and writes it down. But that's her system, but she writes things down and makes it happen. Right. So anyway, that's what I have for you. Great show from Michele. Go out there and connect with her and see what she's doing, copy what she's doing from social media. And when you follow her on social media, don't just consume the content, see what she's doing, learn how she's sharing her struggles, her story. You will learn a lot from that. And make sure you subscribe and leave us a review on iTunes, on YouTube, and whatever platform you are. Hey, this is it. I'm Simon Chan. I'm loud. I'm proud to be part of this amazing profession. Now it's over to you. Go take action. Think about something you learned from Michele. Take action. Maybe reach out to someone you haven't talked to in a while. Be a genuine connector. Don't think about a business. Just reach out to someone. And I'll tell you, you do that, it goes a long, long way in the long term. Hey, God bless. Go out there and have a positive impact in someone's life. Be blessed.